Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Wine Women Life. I'm your co-host Christina.
I'm Ariel.
Do not forget to hit the subscribe button and follow us on YouTube and Instagram as well. And don't forget to hit the bell for notifications. And also do not forget to hit the like button if you love this video. Okay, so let's get right into the topic. So today we are talking about podcast that one of our favorite couples, Ask the Martins, had. And the title of that podcast was Once You See That They Are Not Making Any Changes, and that is in a relationship or a marriage, that's when you change ... Let's get into it.
I think it can be referenced to friendships also. Like if you have a friend and they're not willing to change certain behaviors, that's your cue to leave, because the same way as relationships go in different directions, friendships do as well.
That is so true, girl. That is so true. I didn't think about the friendship aspect, but yeah, friendships, that's another aspect of a relationship as well. So let's talk about first, how do you think couples or friends can start to go in different directions?
When people decide to change their behavior, that's when you move in different directions. Because most of the time when people stay the same, like their behaviors, their attitudes, and what they do, they don't see any need for change. They don't see the need to do anything differently when they've been set doing things, With Ask the Martins, like their caption on Instagram said, "We have a general rule that we live by. If I tell you there's nothing that I need or you're exhibiting behavior that is hurting me, that's me giving you the opportunity to make necessary adjustments. If I have to remind you, it's a courtesy. If you continue to ignore my feelings or my needs, then you are making a choice to ignore me. And I must govern myself accordingly." It's really that simple. There's no need to try to figure out things or read between the lines. People make conscious efforts to do whatever they want to do every single day. What's important to them, what they consider valuable to them, what they consider worth their effort and energy will always be evident. All you have to do is pay attention to their choices. I know. When I read it, I was like, shit, Lord.
That's powerful.
It's deeper than words. Because if you listen to those words, when you take it as accountability, like, we do put energy into the things that matter. Like if I know that I say certain things to my son, and, I joke sometimes because he's a little chunky, and I'll say certain things, and I don't really mean it to be mean, but he'll be like, "Mom, you always say I'm fat," and it hurts my feelings, or he'll say something like that, and then it remind me, like, okay, take the effort to choose my words carefully. Even if I'm joking by calling him my baby chunky monkey, in his mind, he's like, my mom's calling me fat again. So it takes me to change my behavior because of the love I have for my child. I want him not to be uncomfortable, and I don't want to hurt his feelings. We can use that same analogy in a relationship. If I tell you, like, hey, I don't like you doing this to me or treating me this way. And like they said on that little small excerpt, I shouldn't have to repeat myself. If I've told you once, okay, that's courtesy. If I told you second time, that's a gentle reminder. But if I have to tell you time and time again, I don't like it. Don't do it. It hurts my feelings. It makes me uncomfortable. There's something that's a disconnect there.
I totally agree with what you're saying. One thing that I learned is that change is definitely hard because it requires an adjustment in how you would normally do things. I know I've been in relationships where I have told guys over and over again, hey, this is how I feel about this, or this bothers me. Let's talk about this. And first and foremost, communication is always important. I feel like when you are constantly telling someone something and they're not listening, that is definitely a problem because it's sort of invalidating your feelings, and that's not healthy for any type of relationship, whether it's just a relationship, a marriage, or friendship. I've had people, I've approached people about things, and I've had them come back on me saying, well, no, that's because you're this, or you're insecure about things. And I'm just like, that's not right. That's not right. You should never invalidate another person's feelings. If you truly love that person, you're going to listen to them and be like, wow, what did I say or what did I do that hurt you? And I'm so sorry. And you're going to try to rectify that by switching some things up. That's what you call true love in a friendship and a relationship.
So if I can add to what you're saying, um, so I feel like exactly what you're saying. If someone tells you like, hey, I don't like how you make me feel, that hurt my feelings, then they shouldn't devalue anything that you're saying because that's how you feel. Don't, I just feel like that's crazy that people try to take the power out of what you're trying to say and make you feel like it's less than necessary or like it's not needed to be said. These are my feelings. I'm allowed to feel the way I feel, and I should be able to voice it to my husband or my friend or whoever I'm having this disconnect with. And they should go back and be like, you know what? I hear you. I respect you. I'll try to change, or I'm going to change. And like you said, change does not happen overnight. You cannot try one time and be like, well, they didn't react the way I wanted to react. Spaghetti. That's not any effort in that. That's not any consistency. That's not showing the true love that you have for that person. Because as we all know, if it's real and you really want that to last, you have to try. Effort sometimes takes days, sometimes weeks for that person to see the change, for that person to feel the change. And if that's what's needed within whatever relationship you have and you care about that, then do it.
Absolutely.
Nobody should feel inadequate, when they're trying to voice their pain or their concerns or if they're uncomfortable about something. Mm-hmm. Don't do repeated behavior. Mm-hmm. Because it's just like me apologizing. I'm like, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings when I called you, nappy headed. And then I go back and I be like, oh, your edge is still looking rough. It's repeated behavior after you told me, like, girl, I'm having a problem getting my edges straight and my hair straight. And you go back and you talk about my edges. That's me being, I don't care. I'm not putting in the time to care about your feelings. I'm not putting in that effort to rearrange my words and say different things so I know that I'm not hurting you in that particular area. Right?
Absolutely. I'm 100% with you. Because, like I said, see, change is, or can be, I should say, can be uncomfortable. And it's the human tendency to want to be comfortable. It's the human tendency to want to be right. It's the human tendency to have an ego. So when someone approaches that other person, it could be a bruise to the ego. And then on top of that, it could require some change. So they become uncomfortable with that. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't understand why people don't want to change for the better. I don't understand that. I have spoken to people and I've heard people say things like, life is too short to change. Life is too short to do better. Just be yourself. But being yourself might not be the best self, okay? Let's be real. Why not want to evolve in a mental capacity or an emotional capacity? Because we all evolving in a physical capacity, okay? As time moves along. So let's glow up, as I like to put it. Let's glow up mentally and emotionally, and let's start caring more about our loved ones and how they feel, their feelings.
I totally agree. Mm-hmm. I totally agree. If you have a relationship with someone and there's things that you disagree about that she doesn't like, he doesn't like, whomever doesn't like. There's no way you guys can fix a broken relationship if there's no change.
Right.
Like, there's just, it's just like asking for the same thing to break again because you've never fixed it. And like we said, change doesn't happen overnight. Change doesn't happen because I'll tell you, hey, I'm going to change. Hey, I'm going to be different. It's more than just vocalizing. It's taking the steps and the actions to put that person ahead of your needs. If you really care about them and if it's worth it, if that relationship is worth it, you will change. You will take that effort. You will take the time because that person means a lot more to you than your ego. Because like they were saying on Ask Martins, like, if you're not going to change, people will take the necessary steps to eliminate you from their lives. Period. If it's a friendship and I'm moving down this road and I want to be a better woman and I want to, have businesses and I want someone who will relate to me and my friend just wants to go out and kick it and party, we on two different pages. And that will require me sometimes not to be your friend. And it's not love lost, but we're moving in two different areas. If I'm in a marriage and I have vocalized to you like, hey, I don't like you texting Susie Q, or I don't like you coming in late at night, and you repeatedly come in late at night, you repeatedly texting Susie Q and Ashley and Kim, eventually, over due time, it's a thought placed in our mind, just as a woman. If a man tells their wife, like, hey, babe, I don't like the way you're dressing. I feel like you're flaunting too much and it's not, it's not decent, or, I don't like you coming in late at night and she's still coming in at wee hours in the morning, and it's continuously, eventually in that man's mind, he's going to be like, you know what? She doesn't care, right? So if you love that person and you want to keep that person, it takes you to actual change, to make those steps, to show that love that you have for that person. Because if you don't, eventually they're gonna
Bye-bye.
And then you're gonna want to change at the last minute. And it's gonna be too late.
Too late. Yes, girl, it's too late. And you know what? I've had quite a few experiences. I haven't been in a whole lot of relationships, but I would say a few of my relationships that actually happened where they tried to change when it was too late. And that's another thing I don't understand, why people want to wait when someone is ready to walk away in order to change. And sometimes I even question, why are you changing? Are you changing because I'm walking away from this relationship, or are you changing for yourself? Because if you're changing because I'm walking away from the relationship and I decide to come back, guess what? We're going to have the same issues because you're not changing for the right reasons.
Preach.
What?
You said none but the word, honey. Because if you telling me A, B, C, D, and I've been telling you A, B, C, D for the last 3-4 years of our lives, and now you like, well, I decided I'm going to do this and this and this. It's not genuine. Because why does it take for me to get to this point where I'm done and I feel like you're not going to change, and now you want to change? Because at this point, I'm not going to wait for that change anymore. Like before, when I gave you that vocalization, this is what it is. And then I gave you the first courtesy. And then I gave you that reminder. I kept going and going and going. And eventually, like I said, you get to the point where you're just like, you know what? They're not going to change. I'm done. Done. Because my thing is like, people, we take energy for the things that we want to do in our lives, right? It takes energy to get up every morning and go to work. It takes energy, time and energy to do our hair. to do our beautiful makeup, Christina. It takes time, right? So I can take the time out to make up myself, to pick out my clothes, to get up and get prepared for every day. Why can we not, as people, take the time out and remember or try to reframe our thoughts and our words so that we can change for someone else? Like, why can't we put that energy into the same energy that we put into everything else, right? If I can take that energy and I'm scrolling on my phone all day, I can take that same energy that it takes for me to scroll down my Instagram page to shoot you a text message and say, hi, thinking of you.
Girl.
The same energy that I take to, check my emails. And I know ain't nothing in there, but somebody's trying to get me to buy something, a whole bunch of coupons. I can take that same energy and shoot a text message to my friend and be like, hey, bestie, hope you're having a great day. That's it.
Yeah.
Just time, effort.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How long do you think that it should take people, or do we not have a time frame on the amount of change? Well, the amount of time it takes for people to change. Like, because some people remain in marriages, some people remain in friendships just to have that friendship or to someone to talk to, or just to remain in their marriage to say they're married.
That's a really good question. I don't put a specific number on it because I think it's different for every friendship and every relationship. But, and I also know that change is not easy. Especially like with me personally being on my little self-love journey, it actually took me a few years to get there, a few years of working on myself. So I think it depends on how much are you willing to tolerate? How long are you specifically willing to wait for this person? I think it's just, it's up to that particular individual. Now, if you're asking me personally, how long I would personally wait for someone to change, this is me. If I'm in a relationship, I need to see some progress immediately. And when I say progress, I'm not talking about an entire change, because that entire change is going to eventually come about. But I need to see some consistent progress. I need you right away to start reevaluating whatever it is that we talked about, whatever topic it is, whatever situation that is going on with our relationship. I need that person to start reevaluating immediately. And that's where communication comes into play. And I need to start seeing some sort of progress right away. And like I said, it's going to be baby steps, of course, because change is like when you're fully it takes, like, just like a butterfly. It takes a while for, the caterpillar to turn into a butterfly. But regarding couples where it takes, like, they're together for like 10 years, I don't know what goes on in that specific relationship, so I can't really say. That's why I say I think it's just up to how long are you willing to wait? What type of progress are you trying to see? And when are you trying to see that progress? I need to see the progress happening. Let's start something. Let's start somewhere.
And I would say to add to that, because I feel like if there's no change and you're steadily having disagreements, you're steadily bumping heads, and that person, whoever is feeling like there needs to be a change or whatever, is continuously not changing, then that person is holding in all kind of anger. And that causes upsets in relationships as well. Yeah. Because, you're steadily like, I told them not to do it, they keep doing it again, and you're dealing with it. I told them not to do it, they keep doing it again, and you're dealing with it. At one point, you're going to be like, you know what? There's going to be resentment there. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of pain coming from somebody. You're in, they're in. Because a lot of times people don't take it seriously. They don't take what they dish out. They don't take what the words that they spew out. They don't take it seriously. And they'll blame the moment of the time. Well, I was angry at the time when I said this, that, and the other, and you shouldn't take it personal. And once again, it's like that. Here's that person's feelings being discorded because that's how you feel. It's not right. If I tell you continuously, I don't like the hurtful things you say to me, or if I'm telling you continuously, like every time we get into it, you stop talking to me and you still do it. You still say hurtful things. You still not text me for days or block me or ignore me. That leaves a heart just spewing with pain, with hurt. It's just building up because you're not listening.
Yeah. You're so right about that.
And a person can be like, oh, but I do care. No, you don't. Because like I said, the same way we can retrain our thoughts and our words when we're speaking to our children, when we're speaking to our mothers, when you're speaking to your boss at work, you can't say all kinds of things to your boss at work, right? Even if they say something crazy or they actually do something crazy, in your mind, you could be like, it's bleep, 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 bleep in your mind. But when those words come out your mouth, it better be up to par. Mm-hmm. You got to come correct when you're speaking.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That takes energy, right?
It takes energy. Absolutely.
Once again, the same energy I can take to rethink that I want to cuss my boss out. Same energy I can take to tell my lover, you know what, you're right. I'm sorry. I won't say it anymore. I do things differently. Yeah. And actually do it.
And do it.
Like you said, I need to see that consistent change. You can't do one thing this week and next week it's just like
you back to
square one.
Mm-hmm.
Change is continuous. Just like you said, our bodies change over time. We can't stop the wrinkles. We can't stop our boobs saying. We can't stop, the fatness in our middle section. We can't stop our hair from being lost. We can't stop those things because change happens, right?
It does, yeah.
But we can control how we treat other people. We can control our behavior. We can control those things. Do it.
Do it.
Nike, just do it.
Just do it. Yeah, and along with that, another thing I want to add is in harmony with everything you said, if people can just stop to put themselves in the other person's shoes, that would make any type of relationship a lot better. Because if you can just step in that person's shoes and say, well, how would I feel if he or she said that to me? How would that make me feel? I did this to her. I said this to her. What if she dished that back to me? What if she did it? How would I feel about that? But people don't think like that. And to be honest with you, it takes an emotionally and mentally mature person to actually put themselves in the shoes of the person that they've hurt. But people nowadays, they are so selfish and they're so consumed with themselves. And like we talked about earlier, they do not validate the other person's feelings. And I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Let's glow up, people. Let's glow up. It's time to reach new levels in life. Because relationships nowadays, they're not the same. They're not the same. I know me personally, I have a really hard time dating. Well, I have a hard time dating for other reasons too. Some of my standards are not reachable. But besides that, uh, you know, a lot of folks they haven't reached that maturity level. I've noticed they just have not reached it, and I'm like, I don't want nothing less than what I deserve. I just don't.
I totally agree. Because I've had certain instances where I know, like, it's been friends, and I'm like, you know what? I could be more sensitive.
Mm.
I could be more understanding. And I have went back to my friend. I'm like, you know what? I apologize if you feel like I wasn't there at the time. I apologize if you took this the wrong way. And I have to remind them that I love them. I care for them. My intentions was not to hurt you. I've had family members like my sister, me and her have gotten into it before. And I know I've came to her like, you know what? That's not how I meant it. And I have to remind her again, like, I love you. You are everything to me. You know what I'm saying? And our bond would never be something I want to break or, defer because we're so close. So therefore, I'm wrong. I shouldn't have did that or whatever. Like, I don't know, remember how the apology really went, but I know at the time when it hurt her feelings, I was like, hey, this is what it is. And my consistency was her ignoring my calls and I'm still texting like, love you. Her not responding. Next day I'm like, okay, thinking about you. Her not responding. Next day I'm like, have a great day. But that was my consistency because I love her. That's somebody I want to keep in my life, right? Let's, like you said, let's be emotionally mature to the point where we can apologize, to the point where we can actually listen, to the point where we can put ourselves in another person's shoes and be like, you know what? If I kept doing this continuously, how would he feel? How would she feel? What have I put this person through? When am I going to stop? It's empathy. Being empathetic to the person that I love needs. Like wants, we can go around it all, but needs. If you're telling me this is what you need to feel secure, if you're telling me this is what you need to feel loved, if you're telling me this is what you need to feel at peace with me, these are the things you need from me. Listen. Like, why is it so hard? Why are people so selfish? Why is pride and ego the top head of marriages and relationships, period? We can't humble ourselves enough to be like, you know what, this got to stop. We're going to do A, B, and C differently. I'm going to do this, A, B, and C differently for you. Because like you said before, if somebody just wait until you get ready and you pack in a bag and they like, by the way, I stopped texting Kim last week. It's bull crap.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You stopped texting Kim because you saw me bring these suitcases in there last week.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been telling you to stop texting Kim since last year. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy. Why does it have to take for me to get ready to walk out for you to be like, you know what? I decided to try Christ.
Make it make sense. Make it make sense. But it hurt me with what you said when you asked that question. You were like, why are people so selfish in relationship? You know why I think it is? I'm thinking about a scripture in the Bible. I don't know. I can't remember the Bible, the chapter, but I remember there's a scripture in the Bible that says the inclination of a man's heart is bad from his youth up. So, and because like I don't know, everybody doesn't believe in the Bible, but for those who do, we were born into sin. And doing the wrong things is easier. It's so much easier to do the wrong thing versus the right thing. And I think that's why people have such a hard time in changing. It like you said earlier, it takes effort. And people, they don't always want to put forth that effort. They too lazy. As one of our life coach, as he put it, he said, You got men out here that are emotionally lazy. He said it's just kind of a almost like a natural thing for them to be emotionally lazy. It literally takes a real man to step up to the plate and be like, recognize what he's doing and changing that up and glowing up. That's gonna be my new term all this year. Let's glow up, people. But yeah, that's why. That's why.
Yeah, I totally agree. Everything you said, I totally agree. Emotional laziness. That's crazy that that's even exists. How do you have emotional laziness? But as we all know, it happens. And to be honest, you can miss out on some of your biggest blessings by not changing your behavior.
Sure can.
The person that's meant to be in your life to help you or guide you. And it could be like just somebody you need. You know what I'm saying? The person that you vent to, the person that you know, lean on, or once you miss out on a person that is needed in your life,
yeah,
I know it gotta suck. Like it hurts, right?
It hurts.
And if you think about it, you've had time to change this. If you go back into time, you can remember that person telling you before, can you stop? I don't like this. They verbalized it. So why can't we as people just do what we need to be done for our loved ones, for the people we want to keep in our life? I know I do. If I need you in my life, you're gonna know it. You're gonna feel it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Genuinely, you're gonna know it.
Yeah.
And I mean that's emotional maturity. It's not a lot of good people in this world. And if I have somebody good with me in my life, I can call and be like, hey, regardless if it's somebody I can call that I need some money, somebody I can call I need to vent to, somebody I can call, husband, wife, boyfriend. I'm like, hey, I love you. Just tell me you love me. Tell me I'm pretty. I need that, right?
Yeah.
So if I need that, I need to keep that person in my life.
Yeah.
And in order to keep that person in my life, I need to make sure that they feel good in their place in my life.
Yep, because one thing a person is not going to do when they need that person in their life, they are going, and although we're imperfect, we recognize we're imperfect, but we're going to try our hardest to not jeopardize that relationship through all of our imperfections. We're going to try our hardest to not jeopardize it. And like you said, if somebody comes to me and be like, Christina, I didn't like what you said. You care enough. You want that person in your life. You're going to switch up. And you're not gonna like turn it around and make yourself the victim. You're gonna be like, okay, I messed up. What can I do to make this better? That's a real woman and that's a real man.
Nothing but the truth. Nothing but the truth. Because the more and more you try to victimize yourself and make it seem like, well, this is not what I meant, or this when you did this when, no. The more and more that person gonna be like, dang, you really don't care. Because at the end of the day, if you're victimizing me and you're flipping what I'm saying, and you're making me feel like I'm not important or what I'm saying is not important, you're making me feel like my pain isn't important, my feelings aren't important.
Yeah.
I'm gonna feel like, once again, if that's validation, okay, it's time for me to
gotta go. Sometimes you gotta cut it off, unfortunately.
Because that's draining. It's draining that I'm telling you over and over and over and over again how I feel. This hurts. It's draining that I'm steadily dealing, I'm still taking in everything you're doing. That's draining.
Talk about it.
So, moral of the story is
change, people.
Change. If you need that person in your life, change.
Step up.
Like if it's, I feel like let's clarify this. If that person don't like how tall you are, okay, there's nothing you do about it. Go find you somebody short. Okay. Now, if that person is talking about, well, baby, you too fat. If you don't think you're fat and you're happy with your thickness, let him go find somebody else that's his preference, okay?
See you later.
Now, if that person is talking about, something like, oh, well, I don't know, something that you really can't change, like your physical appearance or something like that. We can all dress up and undress, but certain things we really can't change. I can't take off my arm and give it to you because you're shorter. Like, I can't do that. Let's clarify that, okay? But our emotional behaviors, what we do, what we say, how we react, those are things we can change day by day by day. The same way I take the effort to breathe. You know what I'm saying? When something stinks, I'm like, that's what I'm saying. It's so small. All we have to do is think about the person in our life. That's all I'm saying. It's just so inadequate. When we think outside of the box, when it's not about us, that's true love.
That's true love. And my question is, what bad is going to come out of changing for the good? None. But bad will come out of but the bad will come out of not changing for the good and continuing to hurt somebody. That's definitely going to happen. So, I mean, there is nothing but good blessings that come out of glowing up.
Nothing but good blessings. Nothing. Because I even feel like even if it's too late for you and the other person, the friendship has died, the relationship has died, at least you can take from that and whoever else you'll meet down the line. Another girlfriend, another boyfriend, another friend, period. You can be like, you know what? I had this person. I treated them badly. Let me do this person differently. Or I feel like even if it's done, if that person is still in your life somewhat, you know what I'm saying? You can still show appreciation. You can still present changed behavior. It still can be there. It doesn't have to stop because that person chose not to deal with it anymore. You know what I'm saying? You can still keep going.
Yeah.
Especially if it's something that you need to do. If you need to learn how to speak to people with more respect, that's a good behavior change. If you need to learn how to open up more, communicate more, that's a good behavior change. That's something that should keep going with regardless of your relationship with that person.
Oh yeah.
Because those are things that's necessary for life, right?
Absolutely. Necessary for growth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if you're not going to change for that person and it's needed, at least change for yourself so that you don't continue to hurt people as you go throughout life.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a cycle on repeat.
Yeah. Because especially if you didn't deem the person that you felt like you needed in your life, that you never thought would leave out your life, if you didn't deem that person necessary to receive that change, who are you going to deem necessary to receive that change?
Mm-hmm. Good point. Yeah.
Only person I can be selfish with that's worth my selfishness is God and my babies. Period. I'm sorry. If I can't get you to feel the same way about me and we can't be on this together where I'm exuding the same, I'm exuding all this love and you can't give that back to me because of pride or ego, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Because I think the only time love should be selfish is when it's for each other. I'm selfish about kissing on you and only you. I'm selfish about making sure that you're eating. I'm selfish about tucking you in at night. I'm selfish about the time that you go to bed because I know what time you got to go to work. I'm selfish about, you walking on the side of the street and I'm on this side because I want to make sure you're safe. Little things like that. Mm-hmm. I'm selfish about you putting your seatbelt on because I care.
Because you care.
Like, that's the only time you should be selfish in a relationship. We have to take self out of it and think about the other person, period. You're not going to continue to hurt a person, and keep deeming off this hurt and think that in reality, you're going to keep receiving love. That's not how it goes. It's like day after day, you're not watering this flower. But day after day, you looking at it like, oh, you still got your petals? Eventually, that flower is going to die because you're not watering it. You can't keep saying, oh, bro, I'm going to water you tomorrow. I'm going to water you later on. Them petals are falling off one by one.
It sure will. And
that's a relationship. Little bit by little bit, those petals are falling. Little bit by little bit, your relationship with that person is breaking down because you're not watering it. You're not changing. You're not putting in the effort to go get that can and water that relationship.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the gist of it.
That's the gist of it. And don't blame that flower for wilting and dying.
Right. Like I told you I was going to water you next week. You can't do a relationship like that. I told you I was going to talk to you right next week. I told you I was going to respect you next week. Did I tell you that? Like, you can't do that. You can't put that flower on the back burner. You can't put me on the back burner. You can't tell me, well, I told you next month I was going to get a better job. What if you don't find a job now? Make it make sense. People are not, people like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
You touched on it earlier when people was like, time, life is short, why change? You're exactly right. Life is short. That person that you're not paying attention to, that person that you're devaluing, that person that you're ignoring and just okay with existing with them, life is temporary. They can leave this earth tomorrow and with the same feelings of he's not listening or she's not listening or he doesn't care or she doesn't care, and they're gone. And you're going to feel like crap, right? I should have listened. I should have stopped cursing at her. I should have stopped cussing at him. The smallest things. Life is short. Do people right while you have the time with them on this earth? Because nobody knows the day or the hour.
Nobody.
Do them right. And not even if you can't do them right for them, do it right for yourself to make your heart feel good. Yeah. If I know if I apologize and I know I wronged somebody, that's a weight off these shoulders. You feel me? Because I can go to sleep at night, even if they're not answering my text messages, even if they're not responding, I can go to sleep at night knowing that I put in an effort day by day by day by day by day. Sometimes it takes months. If I spend months and every other day I'm texting on you or every other day I'm shooting you a, hey, how you doing? I'm putting in that effort. And at the end of the day, when I'm ready to give up, at least I know in my heart of my hearts that I tried to change my behavior, right? It's so simply said. I don't know how people don't get it.
I don't either.
They do get it.
They don't want
it's too late.
They don't want to.
It's too late.
Too late. When it's too late. So unfortunate.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Wine, Women in Life. Don't forget to catch up with us on Wednesdays. Click the notification so you can know when our podcasts come out. We have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have YouTube. Support your girls. Bye.
Bye. All right, girl. So you oh wait. Oh yeah, you can close this out. You wanna close this out?
Oh yeah. We're still talking. Oh.
Oh my God. Every time I laugh, all you see is teeth. I hate that. It's like
I hate it too. No, I gotta go. I was like
but I can't
I hate it. I'm nothing but gum. I'm like and then my eyes go like this.
I don't see that, but yeah.
I can see that these girls are some fools. Okay, I'm close. Are you ready?
I'm ready.